Let's go, let's go. They not ready. DTB, KO, season 2. What we about to do?
Let me put you on
Trust that
game.
God that put that dream in your heart.
You know the government's really a game.
Things I appreciate most is what you guys do for the culture, for the.
I
just got a positive vibe today, bro.
I'm on my Cat Williams. Do I got to call out names right now? Do I got to call?
Hey, how's it going, everyone? Welcome back to a brand new episode of the DTB podcast. If you don't know what our podcast is about, it's about entrepreneurship, it's about faith, it's about wellness, it's about business. Today, we're actually wrapping up our last episode of the year, but not our last episode of the season. So make sure you guys stay tuned to it. Before we get into this episode, we're going to pass it up to our co-host.
What's good, DTB family here in the studio, man? And we're happy to announce that we got one of the hottest entrepreneurs from the Bay Area, straight out of Watsonville. We got Andy Anaya. What's good, my bro?
Hey, let's go.
Hey, thank you for having me here.
Thank you, bro. Thank you for coming all the way over
Appreciate it.
here. I know you're on vacation, you said, right? You were on
Yeah.
vacation. Today, we brought you here, bro, because we want to listen to your story. I think you have a lot of insights and in the business and the entrepreneurial world where you could share to the audience. So thank you for being here today. Andy, we want to start it off by asking you, what are your three biggest business lessons you've learned so far in your life? I know you're a barbershop owner. I know you were doing streetwear for a while. So tell us a little bit, what are the three biggest business lessons you have learned so far, bro?
Lessons. Well, I'll start with some mistakes that I did for sure.
Yeah.
So the first mistake I did when I first opened up my first shop was I bought out a beauty salon that was already existed for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And as you know, growing up, I didn't know anything about business. So as soon as I heard that there was a lady selling a salon, I was like, oh damn. And it was in downtown Watsonville. So I was like, I know it's a good spot. So, you know, I bought it off her.
Mm-hmm.
She sold it at the time. She sold it to me for $10,000, and I was like, "All right, you know, let's do it." Now that I'm like 3 years in, I'm like, dude, what the hell did I do? I should have like just found an empty spot in downtown, and those $10,000 would have helped me for the chairs or something else. Because as soon as I went into the beauty salon, well, I knew I didn't want a beauty salon, so I had to remove everything that was in there. It was, you know, everything was for girls, man.
Oh,
So-
yeah.
So that was a big mistake.
Mm.
Yeah, because I even had to do the floors. I had to just change everything. Dude, the inside was pink.
Yeah. So you have to
So-
paint it up.
I had to do the whole thing.
You know, I heard a lot that it's better to buy a business sometimes than to start off scratch. But in that case, yeah, if it was all like beauty salon equipment, pink, you know, I understand why you're saying it was a mistake. Because like you say, you could have just got an empty room. The walls are already white sometimes too, you know?
Exactly.
You just had to buy the chairs and the mirrors and you would have been straight.
Correct. The reason why I think it's a mistake is because when it's like a barbershop or a beauty salon, I feel like, let's say KO would have sold me his barbershop, I'm pretty sure his clientele is going to follow him wherever he goes.
Yeah.
If it's more of a restaurant and you keep the same name and everything, and then the recipe's the same, then it's a little bit different, and the clientele might stay there.
Yeah, correct.
But when it comes to like in the beauty industry, it's more of like they follow you. You know, your clientele is going to follow you. So I felt like I paid those $10,000 for nothing
Yeah.
because I had to start from scratch regardless.
And if she didn't have any clientele, then you were also left with like an empty salon, right?
Correct.
What would you say was another business lesson, bro, that you learned?
Another business lesson was when you're dealing with the landlords.
Mm.
So that first shop that I bought, the lady, well, I first thought it was like a big corporation that owned the building, but then I found out it was just like a family. It was family owned, and I went in there. Like I said, I invested my money on floors, painting. I did everything from scratch.
So after those 10,000, how much would you say that you invested it still?
On top of that, I probably still threw like another 30,000 on top of it.
Damn.
And the guy, well, because I literally put new baseboard, I put new floors, I did everything
Mhm.
brand new, and when I left, so like we were talking about earlier. So once I grew, I started by myself in the shop. And then eventually I got 3 more barbers. And then eventually I ended up with like 12 barbers in that shop in less than a year. After the first year, I was like, damn, I need a bigger spot. Because when I first got that spot, I was like, I only want 4 barbers in here because it was kind of small. It was only 1,000 square feet big.
Yeah.
But barbers just kept coming in that they wanted to work there. So, and I would get them in. And eventually it got so packed that I was like, bro, like I need a bigger spot. And it literally took me like 3 months to be able to find a bigger spot in downtown. Once I got it, I went in there and I was able to fit a little bit more bar. Well, we were more comfortable in there.
Okay.
So my thing is, and then on a second barbershop, for example, that one's owned by a big property management. So what I was trying to say is like, when you go and get a lease, what you want to do is talk to the persons and just try to negotiate the best that you can per square footage. When it's family owned, they're going to be a little bit more like
Well, they're not open to negotiations.
not really, yeah,
real?
because it's a family business owned. You know, like they want to get paid like what they already invested in. They're not a big company
Okay, yeah.
compared to a big company like the second location that I just opened up. It's a big. The guy owns so many properties, commercial properties, that when I went in there, I was able to negotiate the square footage. Like for example, I'm not sure how much they charge per square footage in this area, but in that area, it's $1.25 right now.
Okay, and it's good to know those numbers, right?
Yeah,
I don't even think I know those numbers out here in Downey in LA. I don't
okay.
really.
So now, when I first got the first shop, I didn't know anything
Did
about
you-
that.
yeah, correct,
They
correct.
just told me it's going to be X amount per month. This is how much the water bill and the electric bill is just about. And I was like, yeah. Well, I was so excited to just open up a shop that all that just blew through my mind. And I didn't think about it. But for the second one, I was more of a shock, bro. I was like, nah, hold on. Like,
Yeah.
because now I already went through that phase of like, okay, well, I already have a barbershop. Now it's like, I'm going to open up a second one, but I want to do it right. I want to make sure the numbers are right. I want to make sure that I'm going to be profitable, because on the
Yeah.
first one, I was low-key losing a little bit of money.
Yeah. Correct.
And especially because I didn't even negotiate, you know, like I just went in there with I want to open up a barbershop and I need it now, you know, like, so that's not for people that want to open up a shop. That, let's say like there's upcoming barbers that want to open up a shop. I would say chill, like relax, make sure that you study the area where you want to open up a shop. Don't just go like, oh, I need to open it now. I have the
Yeah.
money. I need to do it now. Like, it's not, just relax, man. Like, try to get the best deal that you can possibly get. Try to
Right.
negotiate the most that you can. Because for the second location, I was able to get a few months for free.
Yeah.
I was,
Yeah, you know what's funny though, that you can only negotiate right the second time if you did it bad the first time.
correct.
So you had to go through the first time, like, oh, I messed up, you know. So that's the thing. That's the weird thing about business. Like, oh, I should have done this. I should have done that. But you would have never had the knowledge or the experience if you didn't go through the first thing that you went through, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, you just kind of have to like experience it, you know, and go through it. And then like later down the line, you're like, oh, you look at the bigger picture and you're like, damn, I should have done this. I should have
Yeah.
done that. And
Correct,
that's what
correct.
happened to me. So like now when I was dealing with the second lease, the guy that was the property manager was like, damn, bro, this is not your first rodeo, huh? And I was like, nah, dude. Like, I
Yeah.
already did a bunch of mistakes
Right.
on my life. Well, because technically, so you know how I moved from one spot to another spot on the first location? So that on the second, that was like me learning like what I did wrong in the second one. So
Yeah.
technically, this is my third lease.
This is your third lease already.
But I got rid of one shop, so I only have 2 shops. But it's technically my third time dealing with like, you know,
Yeah.
breaking a deal.
no, that's true. It's true. Making a real professional deal, right?
Mm-hmm.
But with your terms now.
Exactly, exactly. And so that's what I was trying to say. If you're dealing with like a family owned, like a small, you know, a person that just owns a small, let's say like you guys invest on a property and you guys want to lease it out, and your guys' head is like, okay, well, if I'm paying $2,500 is my mortgage, I want to rent it out for $3,500. Like, that's your goal, right?
Yeah.
And you're kind of set to it because you're like, oh, well, that's the only property you own.
Yeah,
So that
yeah.
was what happened to me in the first shop. Now that I'm dealing with bigger corporations and I'm getting bigger, I know that there's cushion for them to like be able to help you out somehow. So for example, on the second location, I was able to negotiate 4 months for free. They wanted $1.25 per square footage. I straight up told them, I was like, I brought it down to $1, and then we met in the middle, which that's something that I wouldn't have been able to do with the other guy.
And you say you got some months for free?
I was able to get 4 months for free.
4 months.
Yeah, I was trying to get 6,
Yeah.
but I ended up getting 4.
What did you
so-
do? A 5-year lease?
5-year
or
lease,
5
correct,
years?
yeah.
I heard those are like the good ones where you can negotiate more too.
Yeah, it's really up to you. Obviously, like the bigger the lease, the years, the more cushion they'll give you. Like they'll let you like say like, all right, what if I do 10 years? Would you give me a month, a year? You know, like
Yeah.
you just gotta ask, bro. If you don't ask, you never know. You know, like what could happen.
Yeah, correct. What we say will be your third biggest lesson, bro. So you already gave us make sure to learn how to negotiate the deal and the lease. You know, what would be your third one, bro?
The third, well, for the barbershop, just your team, bro. You gotta, on the first one, I was just letting anybody, the first barber that would come into the barbershop, I would say, yeah, just because I'm a nice guy. Instead of me actually like studying that person before I get them in, I should have like followed them on Instagram for a couple of months and just to see if they're a right fit for the shop. My first barbershop, I was just like, oh, you need a job? I have a station, come in. Instead of saying like, or even asking the rest of the team, like, hey guys, what do you guys think about this guy? Like, is he cool or not? So now on my second location, I'm doing that.
Yeah. Hey, but do you think like you guys are shop owners, do you guys think that you have to ask the other barbers if they're okay with you hiring a certain barber? How do you guys? What
You
guys think
you
about
don't have to, and I mean I'm sure KO knows you don't have to.
Yeah.
But if you're trying to build the right team, you should.
Uh-huh.
You should.
So how do you go about that?
I just think it's more of taking into consideration of your team flow and what fits and what doesn't fit, opposed to actually asking them, like, because I'm sure you guys that worked at barbershop with multiple individuals, it's hard to get everyone on the same page already for whatever it is. Now, can you only imagine if you're the leader and you're building the team and having to get input from your barbers, you know that everyone's not going to be on the same page.
Exactly.
You know,
and-
so one thing is taking the team into consideration and making the move, and another thing is really analyzing everything and knowing that you don't have to ask them, because you're not here to ask anyone for permission.
Yeah,
You know, you're a boss for a reason. You're not here. You know what you want for your shop. Some of the team is still learning your vision that you have for the shop. So how can they answer for you to execute? I don't think
true.
that would be something that would make you a good leader, if you have to take into consideration what the barbershop has to say, because most of the time, it's sad to say, is that at the end of the day, you're going to be stuck with all of that yourself.
Yeah,
They're
you
not
should.
going to, they could pick up and go if they don't like it.
Yeah.
You know, but that's your business, is your barbershop. You still have to lead it. You still have to be, you know, making sure that the rest of the team is good.
Correct. No, and I strongly agree with that. I just like to like ask just to like, in case there's a couple hiccups, especially, well, I'm guessing what happened was that since the second shop, I opened it in Los Baños and I'm not from there, I don't know anybody there.
Okay.
There was only one guy that's actually from Watsonville that moved to Los Baños. So he knows, he's been cutting there for 5 years. So he knows the people out there. He knew the barbers out there. I personally don't. For example, in my city in Watsonville, when I hired all those people, I already knew all of them. So it was easy for me to hire all of them and say yes. Like, okay, I kind of know you. I kind of know you. Okay, cool. We're good. There was only like 1 or 2 bad apples, but other than that, it was cool. And yeah, I was 100% the leader. But over here, since I don't know anybody, it's a whole different complete city.
Correct.
I'm like, the guys that I got in right now, the first 4 that I got in, they're really best friends. They know the people. So I was like, okay, guys, like you guys are from here. I'm not. So you guys put me on. Like, what do you guys think about this person? Like, is he cool? Is he not? Because I mean, I could have gone off Instagram too and followed them for a little bit, see what's up. But even Instagram, we all know, like, some people are on Instagram, they could be somebody, and then in real life, there could be somebody else.
Yeah.
So I think that's what happened to me in that city, you know, like.
Yeah, putting it in that way, to where you actually have people that are from the city and you not being from the city, you know, you would want to get a little bit of input from them, you know, just to help you make the final decision.
That's where I was going at.
You know,
for the second location,
which is a good strategy to have. with that, or mainly if you, I don't know what location you're actually in most of the time, you're probably more on your first location, right?
Correct. Yeah. Yeah, that's my hometown. So I have my clientele over there. Because I just opened it a couple of weeks ago, and my goal is to slowly like come over here, break like half of the week, and start doing both. I mean, but
How far are the cities from each other?
1 hour away.
1 hour away.
Mm,
Okay.
So tell me, Andy, I'm just kind of analyzing everything, all the highlights that you've been talking about, and what are the three main lessons that you've learned in regards to opening up your business and stuff like that. When you made the first mistake of buying somebody out, you feel like that's something that, because you're no longer at that same location, right? You had to move right away.
correct.
I see that like a big mistake that you made in regards to investing in something, fixing it up, and then just having to move. How long were you actually there, bro?
I was there for not even a year.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then you
so-
were like, I can't be here.
well, like I said, it was a small space, so the business grew too quick on me. I didn't think.
Like you couldn't fit as many more barbers in there because you didn't have the space, right? And I'm sure that that's where most of your profit comes from renting out the stations.
Correct.
So you want to get a big enough location that allows you to have enough stations so you could be profitable.
Correct.
Maybe you may not be profitable in that one first year because you're getting your ROI.
Correct.
So, but it's still like in the future, in the long run, you know, if you retain that for 10 years, you're definitely going to be already profiting in the second, third, hopefully the second or third year already.
Yeah, to be honest, it depends. I mean, it depends how fancy you want your barbershop and how much
Yeah.
money you want to invest in it. Like, for example, right now, at my 2 new locations, I'm doing like the resin floors.
Okay.
And those are pretty pricey, but they're really, really cool.
Mm.
So my RIO is going to take a little bit longer, but I feel like the resin floors, it's a good investment because barbers right away are like, oh, that's a cool shop.
Yeah, and then barbers want to
Yeah.
go work somewhere that it looks nice and stuff.
Exactly.
But I was asking you guys about the profit margins because in the program that I am, the coach says that you can make up to 50,000 passively from a barbershop once it's already profitable yearly. And I'm just thinking like, damn, once you have 2 barbershops, let's say, and they already have 3 years, you're already making 100K profit. Is that realistic? Do you guys think it's realistic?
It depends how many barbers you have in there
Okay.
and how much is your lease.
Mm.
Because what you're gonna do is, and also, for example, like in different cities, booth rent's different.
Yeah.
And
What
obviously,
is the average booth rent right there where you're at?
where I'm at, the average is between 500 and 700
A month?
a month.
And do they pay monthly or weekly?
They pay monthly. Well, that's up to the owner.
Okay.
Me personally, I prefer monthly.
Really?
That's
Then
crazy.
weekly?
Yeah, I was
That's
like,
crazy, bro.
Yeah, because
I mean, I never even thought of doing the monthly thing.
what? We do
Okay.
weekly. We do weekly.
Okay.
We do. Well, I guess we're just used to doing weekly. You know, that's all I know and all I've learned.
Okay.
Is weekly. Because then, I don't do commission at all.
yeah,
I
no.
think like commission to me, I don't think I'll ever practice it. You know, I would want to do more of like the booth rent.
Yeah, exactly. I think commission would work a little bit best for beauty salons.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah.
my mom owns a beauty salon. She's owned it
Okay.
for 20 years now. So for her, I feel like that works best compared to her renting out the booths because she only has
Okay.
five booths,
Stations, yeah.
5 stations. So there's months that are good, there's months that are bad. But as a barber, you know, every month you get the same
Yeah.
Same amount of clients.
the same amount of money.
Money. Yeah, correct. So that's what I was asking you because
But
out here is almost like $1,000 a month.
okay,
That's how much we pay in LA.
okay.
1,000, 1,200 maybe.
So like 250 a week.
around so yeah.
Yeah,
The
about
average.
250.
But,
I heard some people right now are even paying 300 and 275.
Yeah, I
Wow.
think I see that
And
now.
LA. It's not even like I understand like the homie Holy, he works in Hollywood. I think he pays like 400. But you're in
Okay.
Hollywood, you know?
yeah.
You're in Hollywood.
So let me ask you guys this: how much are you guys charging for haircuts out here?
Right now, my price
40.
is 50, and 60.
Wow.
50 and 60.
So they're very similar to us.
But are you when you ask that question about how much you guys are cutting hair, is how much a haircut is going for as a walk-in or as an appointment? Because everybody, I feel like now if you're an appointment-based barber, you charge whatever you want to charge, 80, 90, whatever. I mean, your profit margin there's no limit,
Okay.
you know? So
Yeah.
I think what we categorize as a regular haircut, how much a regular haircut costs, is a walk-in price. Where if you come with us or you go with them, you're paying around the same price, which is about $35 to $50 for a haircut
Okay.
at a walk-in.
So that's average over there as well.
Mm. Yeah, because I was asking you about the
But
profit
then-
margin.
Yeah. So then you would have to be like, you guys. I don't know how much are they charging per square footage here.
we don't know. I don't know.
Because see,
that number.
that's where it could change.
I mean,
'cause-
there's I think
You think
there's-
it's more
there's-
expensive here, or you think it's more expensive?
I think
where
it's
you're at?
more expensive over here. It's like so. How much different is the square footage for a business lease than like a house?
it's double,
Double, right?
just about. Yeah.
So it could be a little different out here.
Okay. Yeah. Because if you want to talk about profit margins,
Well, right here it says $10
per square
per
footage
square foot. I don't know.
Wow.
In the U.S., let's see.
for commercial or
Let's see. It says no. I think that's like real estate. Yeah, that's real estate. This
A
is real
dollar
estate.
to.
because
I would want to say $3 maybe.
okay. Because if you want to talk about profits, then you would have to do this. You would have to say, okay, my barbershop is, let's say, 2,000 square feet.
Mhm.
And if you're paying $1.25, then that's almost $3,000. And then if you have 10 barbers and you guys are charging like $800 per
Per booth,
per booth, then you do 10 times 800.
that's 8,000.
You deduct what you're paying for the lease, deduct the bills, and that would give you the number. Like honestly, I can go to any barbershop and just by those two, if I can get if the owner tells me how much he's
The
paying,
booth rent,
yeah, if he tells me the booth rent and his
rent.
how much he's paying for his square footage, I can give you the math of how much money
Yeah.
he's making.
Yeah, because what I'm learning is
Or
that
approximately, right?
Approximately,
Because
yeah.
there's fucking like
other expenses.
there's other expensive and then there's other hacks that you can do to not have that expense and still have that luxury.
Yeah,
You know,
well,
which is
I
like
mean,
different ways of moving, I guess you could say, within the first years or whatnot.
correct.
You know, like for example, like you said, you may get a lease and he gave you 3 months free, right? Or you might get a lease and you get bills included. Well, you don't have that.
Yeah.
You know, that's already included in your
Exactly.
rent.
Yeah,
You know, I mean, there's multiple different. Everyone's lease is different, bro.
yeah.
You know, everyone's situation is a little different. So you can get a ballpark figure of how much they're making,
But
how much they could be making.
yeah, the ballpark will be really close though, because
Yeah, it'll be
there's not
close.
much to add. I mean, there's insurance, there's internet, water, electricity. You know, but
But
you're right.
But then there's other ways that you could profit out of your barbershop besides renting your chairs.
Correct.
So
with
for example, like
products and brands.
products, your brand, if
Exactly.
you're sending clothes or stuff like that, right? If you own your own vending machine inside your barbershop,
Correct.
if you're getting profit off the ATM machine inside your barbershop,
Exactly.
if you got an arcade game in there that is making you money, I mean,
Yeah.
multiple different things, you know, that
Yeah.
you do. You host an event once a month and you raffle something out and it makes you money during that whole month.
Yeah. And
You
all
know?
those are really good tips for barbershop owners
Yeah,
to
true,
like
true.
to like have in mind. You know, because
Correct.
there's a lot of barbershop owners that they're old school. You know, and they don't have the energy to do all that.
Yeah, they
Uh,
don't.
We're a little bit younger, or not younger, but we're like the new generation. Where like it's like okay, like there's many more ways of getting money, making money than just booth rent.
Yeah.
So like
correct.
no, I
Absolutely.
totally get what you're saying, but like a normal or just an average barber shop owner,
Yeah.
they don't have the energy to do all that. They're just gonna and I say that for experience, because some of the barbershop owners that I know, like they've had a shop for like 10, 15 plus years, and that's all they do. So me as a new shop owner, I came in here with new energy. I started doing all
Right.
this like different ways to make more money, because we all know that it's possible. You already have the clientele coming in. You already have a spot. Why
Yeah.
not like be more profitable?
Correct.
So-
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
already paying for that square footage, like
Make the best out of it.
maximize,
Yeah.
Exactly.
you know, maximize and anything that you can in there. You know,
Exactly.
like host classes. You know that the shop goes to the money goes to the barbershop or
Exactly.
whatever, or to the owner that is the host of it, or whatever it is. I mean, there's different, infinite amount of ways. It's just like, how bad do you really want it?
Exactly.
Correct.
Yeah. How
Yeah.
much money do you really want to make?
What I was
So, yeah,
learning,
I agree with them 100%.
what I was learning is what I was learning is how to make a shop profitable 50,000 at market price too. So you're not even charging 60, 70, you're charging 40.
Yeah.
40, and you're charging your booth rent 250, 10 chairs, you could be profitable 50,000. Obviously not your first year or your second, I think your third year. That's what I was asking you guys. Like, can you be? You think at some point, at least 35 to 40 passively a year of owning a shop, I will be like, hell yeah, let me own the shop. Because right now, too, I'm in the position where like I could continue to cut hair right here where I'm at, right? And I don't gotta worry about nothing else, bro. Just stack up my money. Cause I already have this demand and clientele
Okay.
where I'm doing 50 heads a week, you know, and I could do 60. But if I'm like, why am I gonna leave this comfortable spot where I'm at inside a shop where I just gotta pay my booth rent? Everything is what else is. I don't gotta. I mop, I broom, I clean, but I don't always gotta be mopping. I don't always gotta be cleaning anything. Like,
Hey, I can tell you're a good barber.
so this is what I'm trying to say. Why am I gonna leave this spot to go open up my own barbershop? It's just gonna. I know it's for passion. It's for the desire to own your own business. But for me, it's like, damn, if I gotta go, I kind of like, I'll push it. I'll let it be a little bit more later, bro. I'm not in a rush. Like, I could make money this upcoming year being right there. The only way I would is like, damn, this barbershop's gonna leave me 50,000 by the third year profit. I'm down. I'll go all in. Bro. You know?
But it's not that easy, and KO knows.
That's what I'm getting from you guys. Like, that's what I'm asking you. Like, realistically, can it?
Yeah.
But I think when you take that next step, bro, like it challenges you to an extent to like, man, I'm growing. Like you feel the growth within yourself, correct. And there's some. So I know the motive for a lot of us is it's money, right? Mm-hmm. And like, man, who doesn't want to be a millionaire and all this stuff and have these nice things, right?
Yeah.
But also, like when you do challenge yourself and you overcome it, correct. Like, can you drop down and do 100 push-ups nonstop? Nah, I probably can't do that right now, right? But if I've been doing push-ups for the past 6 months, I'll drop down and do 100 like nothing.
Yeah.
But it was hard to get to there.
Correct.
So right now it's like, yeah, you could still make money at that barbershop and be like that. But in reality, when you look in the mirror, you're like, how much have I really grown though just doing that?
Yeah,
like
correct.
My pockets are growing.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you know, but like selfly, like what makes you happy and what makes you feel that fulfillment of growth.
Exactly.
You know, and like I'm actually moving forward now. I'm not just I'm running in place, but I'm actually taking steps forward now. Yeah. Slowly, but I'm doing it.
I think at the end of the day, it's just kind of like you got to have a purpose behind it. Like why? Like if you were to do that, like there has to be a why. Like
correct.
Yes, obviously the money. You know, like yeah, you hear 50 grand and like all right, I'll do the 50 grand, but like. Is that the only purpose? Is it just because of the money, or is
the impact?
Yeah, or growth, like he's saying, you know.
Yeah.
So once you find, I feel like that's what drove me to open up my first barbershop because I was comfortable just like you at the first barbershop.
Yeah,
I was just like exactly the way you said it. I was the same way, bro. Like I would throw away the trash once in a while. You know, I would come in. I was say what's up to everybody. Yeah. I was comfortable. But then like one day I just woke up and I was like, damn, it'd be nice if I can have my own shop. That way I'm able to do, like we were talking earlier, all those things on the side that over here I can't because I would have to run it through the barbershop owner, and the barbershop owner wasn't that active, you know?
Yeah,
so like,
correct.
so it's kind of like, damn, and if I run my own show, I can do whatever I want and create more. And other than just money, they create more money by doing all that. You also create like a better community, you know, like your city starts seeing like your barbershop. As, like okay, like that's a cool, like that's really cool. Like, cause I feel like that's the reason why I got called to all those high schools. Cause it was like, dude, like that's the guy. Like,
correct.
So
yeah, I brought up the money part just because I know a lot of viewers, they like money. Yeah. And me too. I love money too, but like you said,
I mean, that's
a
natural.
lot of people. what is like what stops a lot of people getting into business is like, if I'm not gonna make like at least us, we're in a point in our lives where like, if it's not gonna make me money, why am I gonna waste a lot of
Yeah.
time on it? You know,
But
obviously there's a
since-
bigger drive and a bigger
since-
purpose behind it.
Absolutely.
Since we're talking about money, let's talk about like the sacrifice to even getting there. Like
Yeah.
for example, I can ask you, like, did you already start saving up for a barbershop? Well, you said that you haven't thought about opening up a barbershop just yet, but
Yeah,
there's a process to it.
correct.
I think there's two ways of doing it. The one way that, because I've had barbers ask me before, like, hey Andy, what do I need to do to open up a barbershop? Like, what are the first steps? And then I tell them there's two steps, or there's two ways of financially getting there. One way is do it the way I did it, which I just saved up. I was putting money on side because I knew that's what I wanted to do was open up a barbershop.
Okay.
So save up. But saving up is not as easy as saying it.
That's
'Cause
where
why?
the sacrifices are.
Exactly, because now, like, for a couple of years, I wasn't going to like parties. I wasn't going to vacations with my family. Like, my family goes on vacations 2-3 times a year. I wasn't able to do that. Why? Because if I go every little vacation, I'm gonna spend $2,000-$3,000, and
Yeah.
they do it like 3 times a year, so that's already $9,000.
Hey, that's crazy, bro. I was literally having this conversation with my wife. Like,
Oh, bro,
I told her next year, like, we gotta do this. We're gonna shit. Like, you said you were gonna celebrate the kid's birthday, the grand opening of your barbershop, and I was like, well, yeah, but we're not no vacations. There's no going out to eat. And those are the sacrifices you're talking about.
Yeah,
you know?
there's a lot of sacrifice. For example, like even buying shoes, bro, like it adds up. You know, even though it's just $250 for a pair of Jordans, or let's say like these Air Forces, you know, they're 125. That's a barber pole.
Yeah.
For my barbershop. You know,
Yeah,
like if
yeah.
I don't buy 2 Air Forces this year, that's 2 barber poles that I want to have in my barbershop.
Hey,
And that's the
10
way I
Air,
saw it.
10 Air Forces is a barber chair.
Yeah, no, I always it is. So that's what I tell the guys. I'm like, dude, like first things first, like grab a piece of paper. Let's say you want to have 10 stations. Make yourself a quote of how much it's going to cost you to have 10 stations. What mirrors do you want? What chairs do you want? What you want, and then everything's online. I told them just crunch all the numbers, put them in line. Once you have a quote of like, okay, my dream barbershop isn't it cost me $50,000. All right, well then what's next? How are you gonna get
How you
there?
gonna save those 50?
Exactly. And then that's where I told them, I was like, I did it this way, bro. I had to act broke for a couple of years. Not act broke, but I changed my lifestyle. Like I had to, bro. Like
Yeah.
that's the only way I was gonna be able to afford my barbershop. And those are a few things that I did was cutting back in vacations, cutting back on things that I didn't really need, that I just wanted. So I was like, okay. And slowly when you start seeing your bank account getting to like that goal that you're reaching, that's when you start getting like, okay, like I'm doing it. Like I'm just gonna keep doing it. And it just becomes like natural for you to like not do the other things that were low-key bad habits, you know?
Yeah.
And even then, like even now, I'm being profitable on my first one, and that profit is going towards my second location. Because people are telling me like, dude, how are you just opened up
that's really
this
smart,
one?
bro.
How are you doing the second one? And I'm
Yeah.
like, bro, like my profit from this one is going
Into the
the second one. What I use for my money that I use for cutting hair, that's for my personal bills and my, you know, and my family. But the profit, it's gonna go to that one. Y les digo, like, dude, I'm ready to open up a third one for next year because I already know that this one, it's only been open for what, like 2 weeks, and I already have it almost fully booked with barbers. So I should start seeing that money coming towards back me like pretty soon. And I'll be ready to open up a third one for like at least by mid next year, bro. Like I'm already, and that's all that's how I'm gonna do it. Just move the profits. And I told
Monopoly.
just a monopoly, bro. And like I told, like, and it's a sacrifice. Because why? Because instead of what I could be doing with that profit is like, honestly, like
be cashing out, flexing on people.
Yeah,
if you want
like
it and all
honestly,
that.
like I was just telling my cousin the other day. I was like, honestly, bro, like if I didn't open up the second shop, I could have been driving a Lamborghini right now because that's that's my dream
That's
car.
our dream, yeah.
And the profit that you only need $2,000 a month to drive to buy a Lamborghini, to drive a Lamborghini. So I told him, I was like, I could be driving that, but I was like, I'd rather just wait.
Yeah.
I'm 34 right now, so I told him if I'm able to open up one barbershop per year, by the time I'm 40, I'll have 6 on my back. Then I'll buy the Lamborghini. Why? Because now I'll have, instead of using one profit to open up another, I'll be like, you know what? I'm gonna use this one to buy my car because I really want this car. But right now, I'm sacrificing that.
Yeah, hell yeah, that's a great goal, bro. What is that new Lamborghini that's been going around? The Urus?
No, the Urus is like the truck, right? Like the SUV.
It's
But
like
I
a
heard
little
that
SUV.
truck is like the lowest ticket car that they got. Lamborghini.
I'm sure
I
it
heard
is.
it goes
yeah,
for like
SUV one, the family one.
How much does it go for? Like 250?
I think it's going for like 250 around there. Yeah, I'm sure you can get a used one for like 160, 150 though.
Damn.
if you really wanted one.
Those
Yeah.
look hard. I like
They're
it.
cool.
I like it.
I could see you in one, Diego.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the DTB wrap on it.
Nah, not right. Just
Now,
burn.
now he's gonna want to open up a barbershop.
Yeah, nah, dude. I'm on, ready. Yeah, bro. I'm hyped. I'm hyped now to open the barbershop, you know?
Yeah, but yeah, like I said, though, it's a the other way of going. Like I told the guy, I was like, all right, bro. And if let's say you're not good at saving, and let's say you don't think you're gonna be disciplined to save that money, how's your credit? Like, is your credit pretty good? Like, have you?
Yeah.
Like, if you have really good credit, bro, you can pull credit cards here and there and come up with that money.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And then eventually,
Pay it
once
off.
you open up the shop, that profit, then you can use it to pay it off. So that's a second route.
Yeah.
It just depends which route you want to choose.
Me, bro, right now, I'm just like, I don't know if I'm delusional, bro, but I believe that you could be profitable within the first 6 months if you do everything right. Like, if you get a mentor, someone guides you, and you do everything right, by your 6 months, you could be profitable. And this is where I'm at, where I'm just like, okay, I want to study the game, have these conversations like the ones we're having right now, and just, I believe like you could start perfect. I know, like, I don't know if I'm a delusional, but
You are, and that's why we're here, because that's what I was talking about. I was, because me, when I opened up the first one, I was so like just hyped to open it that I didn't do none of this. So you're doing it the right way.
Yeah.
You're actually like sitting back, actually being like, okay, well, let me see what these guys did wrong. So I don't do that.
correct.
Yeah, and I can promise you that this hasn't been the first conversation where he's like, okay, I'm not gonna do that. He's probably already been thinking about this for the past 3 or 4 months, because it's not the first time that I hear him talking about, hey, like,
Yeah.
what is this about in the barbershop?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
think that, hey, Kale, you told me, you really think that this could happen if I do this in the next 6 months? But like, yeah, bro, like,
But-
so he's already like training himself to execute. Some of us, like you said, like, you threw yourself in there, you learn that way. Everyone has a different journey, but as long as you love that journey,
Yeah,
is what's actually gonna make you, bro.
correct.
Is what I
What
feel.
about you, KO? What made you like be like? I'm sure you started at a shop, right? Or
Yeah,
no?
yeah. I
Okay.
was manager at the barbershop, at the previous barbershop. And then the opportunity came up of opening up my own location. So I have a partner in my business.
Okay.
And he was my client. So from that, we actually moved on, and we were talking. First, we kind of just joked around. He always just wanted to have something to where he can come to the barbershop, get his haircut, and go and stuff like that. And then he also, when we started talking, we became really good friends, and we had a lot of similarities together. And moving on, we started knowing a lot more with one another, and he was serious. And one time we had a really good talk, and he's like, "If you're serious, I'm serious, bro. Let's do it." So then we started looking at spots, But from running the previous shop, like, I had a lot of, experience
yeah.
of what goes down in the bar shop, what to do, what not to do, what did I like that the owners were doing, what I didn't like what the owners were doing. So I would want to say within the last 2 years that I was there, I was already analyzing, well, hey, like, I could do this. I'm kind of already doing it, but it's not my name,
Exactly.
So when I jumped in it's great. Like myself, I have a partner, and we always meet in the middle, and there's a lot of good communication. We're really transparent on what we want to do.
That's awesome.
And it's good to have someone that, and my partner, he has nothing to do with the barber industry.
Yeah, I actually have a client just like yours that wants to invest in my brand / company.
Yeah.
And it's the same story, bro. Exactly.
And it's crazy because sometimes you feel like you need that right hand man, or like someone that you trust to not just help you out with like business stuff, but also like someone to talk to and stuff like that, just personal stuff or whatever it is, that then you guys grow together and your business is just going in the right direction. You bring different ideas from a consumer's point of view, and then I bring it as a, like the owner of the barbershop and the one giving the services out and stuff like that.
It's like Kobe and Shaq, bro.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
So
that,
do you
that's
have
just
any
how it
partners?
is.
Yeah,
I don't. I don't have any
partners.
partners, and now I'm jealous that he has that. Because
Yeah.
that is true. Sometimes you go home at night, and then there's a few problems that happen and whatnot, and there's nobody that you can really like talk to, or or like.
Yeah.
For real.
So, I mean, you just kind of like go over it through your head, you know. But since you have somebody that you trust, and obviously you guys are, you know, partners, that's really cool. That's dope.
Yeah, it's dope. And
have
you know
that.
what's crazy is like when I was telling the idea to a lot of my closest people that knew that I was gonna do this, like they were like, "Eh, bro, like, but having a partner, like now you're gonna have to split the profit. Now you're gonna have to, you know, you guys both have to agree on this and that, and it's like I gotta do it in the way that matches what he wants as well, and he has to also meet me in the middle of what I want, you know, because it's crazy. It's crazy with how much when you know we get together, how powerful that is, opposed to having one mind just going.
Exactly.
And you get drained and all that stuff, and all that's yet to come, you know. And like you will see that too, Diego, when you get to you going on your stuff, you're just like, man, like.
There's
And you
so
start
much-
you start reaching out to what other barbershop owners that have their own thing going, that have their own problems, you know,
Exactly.
and it's crazy. But thank God, you know, everything's working out, everything's going good. You know, we have great plans for 2025 in regards to what we're gonna do with the barbershop. But when people were telling me about like the profit margins and all that, and having to split with someone else and all that, little did they know that like, this is not the only thing that we're getting ourselves into. You know,
Exactly.
we're doing this. Everything goes good. We'll open up another one. We'll open up something else that probably has nothing to do with barbering and branch out to do other different things. You
Yeah.
know, and the amount of connections that I have connected to the amount of connections that he has. When we put that stuff together, like
priceless, huh?
we showed it out at the grand opening from our barbershop. It was crazy, bro.
Yeah,
It was
it's-
dope.
It's one of those things that it's like, damn if I do, damn if I don't.
Yeah.
You know, and it's cool that you took the risk and you did it, because there is a lot of people that are like that. They're like, oh, dude, you can't do business with family. You can't do business with friends. You can't do business with investors. Like, why not? You know, like,
Yeah.
give it a try.
Yeah,
Like,
correct. I heard like the people who are the most successful in this world have learned to preserve relationships in
Yeah.
business,
Oh,
and that's
yeah.
basically all it is. And I just saw a post that said like everyone wants to make money for themselves because they want the whole pie, but they don't understand that if as long as you have a slice of the pie, as long as the pie is getting bigger,
exactly.
you're getting a lot too. So
Yeah.
like you and Solomo, right?
Yeah.
If you guys have this, I'm pretty sure you guys do, is like, hey, bro, the more money we make the company, the more money we get. You get?
Yeah.
So the perspective
Yeah.
changes.
Exactly.
But like you're saying, like, our Latino families always say, no hagas negocio con tu hermano, no hagas negocio con tu tío. Like, I would think some tíos. Stay away.
But it is true though.
Stay
no.
away from
But,
those
hey,
things, but-
congrats, man.
Yeah.
Good thing
Thank you,
Hey,
bro.
congrats
you did it.
on your new shop too, bro.
Appreciate
Congrats on
that.
your new shop.
Appreciate that. Yeah. Well, it's coming along. You know,
Hell yeah,
it'll be
bro.
profitable in a couple of months, like you said.
Hell yeah.
But the way you're doing it, though, in the way you're studying the game before
Mm-hmm.
you actually jump on it, it's, dude.
Yeah,
You're
there's this rapper I listen to a lot, Russ, and before he got into the music industry, he took out a song called "The Stakeout." Do you know what a stakeout is? You know what a stakeout is? It's like when police are looking for like narcos. Have you
Okay.
seen like narcos?
Yeah.
When they got like the main head here, and then they got the
Oh,
three
yeah,
main
yeah,
head.
yeah.
That's a stakeout right there. So
Ah.
basically, that's what I'm doing, bro. I'm breaking down the game to like the most, like, okay, this person's connected here, this person's connected. So when I go into the game,
Yeah.
like I'm saying, I don't know if I'm delusional, but I want it to be as
I don't think you are, bro.
it's not gonna be flawless. I know it's not gonna be flawless.
Nothing's flawless.
So,
bro.
nothing in business is flawless, but I at least want to be, like you said, I want to have peace while I'm like jumping up and
Yeah.
down. Just have peace on that road, bro.
I was gonna say though, maybe somebody from the outstand, from the back, will be like, he's being hesitant. He's being
Yeah.
like, he's not gonna do it.
Yeah.
But not little did they know that you're actually like setting yourself up. So when you do it, like it's not
Right.
like you said, it's not gonna be flawless, but it's gonna be better than maybe me and him did it.
Yeah.
You know, because I mean, I just did it out of impulse. He actually did it a little bit better than I did. Why? Because he had a partner. And sometimes, like he said, when you go in there by yourself, it's only one mentality. So you're gonna, like, for example, me, like, I don't have a right hand. So whenever I want to do something, I just do it. And I just hope for the best because I don't know if it's gonna pop
Yeah.
or if it's not gonna pop. You
Yeah.
know? So for example, him, he might have an idea, but before he actually does it, he has, like you said, from a consumer point of view as well. So
Yeah.
he can be like, that I don't know, bro. I don't think that's gonna
Yeah.
be cool. So that's, so there's different ways of doing it, man.
Correct.
So
Yeah, but I feel like through all this, like you learn patience. And I think patience is something that's so valuable, yeah, when you become a business owner, because being too impulsive kind of, allows you to make more mistakes that you have to clean up and learn from.
That's true.
And learning patience would just teach you that if you take your time with doing stuff, then things would come out better than rushing into them.
Correct.
But you always got to maintain yourself as a risk taker.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, that too. Andy, you were telling us a little bit about your brother, and then your best friend, right? Are you able to share what exactly happened to them, and then we could go a little bit with KO, share his perspective, and then yeah. So let's just start with your story, bro.
Yeah. So like we mentioned earlier about the streetwear, when I was doing streetwear, I was doing it with my best friend.
What's the name of the brand, bro?
The clothing brand is Unfound.
Unfound.
Yeah, and the
okay.
reason why I named it Unfound was because it was kind of like I feel like he's unfound, and what I mean by that is kind of like he has so much potential and he's gonna do it, but right now he's unfound.
Unfound.
But he's
Oh.
like he's getting there like slowly, and that's kind of like what Unfound meant for us back home. But yeah, it was me, my best friend George, and my brother, which was like he was my right hand, and us three of us were doing it. We started like in 2015, like plotting everything, and then in 2016, that's when we actually launched the clothing brand. And at that time, we were like in our city, we were the only ones doing pop-ups. We were the only ones doing events. We were the only ones dropping like, hey, we're only gonna drop 10 of these. We were literally the first ones to do ads. This is when Instagram was barely like kind of like shooting. So one of my buddies was helping me with like creating content. And it was pretty cool. But sadly in 2021, my sister, it was her wedding, and my brother was living in Houston because he was going to law school. He was finishing law school. It was his last year, and he came down to the wedding for the weekend. And the day of the wedding, it's sad. I mean, it's kind of crazy to say it, but because I know my sister's gonna watch this. But anyways, so he came down from Houston for the wedding, and I'm not sure what happened. In the middle of the wedding, my brother and my friend went somewhere, which we don't know where they went. Which till this day, I tell myself, like, where could they possibly go? Like, we had, drinks at the wedding. We had food at the wedding. Like, I'm not sure where they were going, but anyways, and when they left, they got into a car accident. And it was head to head, and
you guys found out the day after the wedding, or you guys
No.
find out why the wedding is going on?
while the wedding was going on, they
Man.
my mom got a call, and they told us. So what they told us was like, hey, don't go through that street, because there was only two streets. The wedding was like up in the hills, and they told us don't go through the main road, go through the other one, because that street it's closed. But nobody knew what happened, right? So the wedding this happened like around 7ish. The wedding ended by like 9ish, and we all went back home. Obviously, there was a lot of people, family from other cities that came to our city so they were gonna stay at my mom's house. So we all went back to my mom's house, and my mom's like, "Hey, where's your brother? His name was Junior." He's like, "Hey, where's Junior?" I was like, "I don't know. Honestly, I haven't seen him in the past couple of hours, And then he's like, "Hey, well," I told my mom, I'm like, "Don't worry about it. Most likely he went with one of his friends, because his friends were there too." So I was like, he's probably at a house somewhere just hanging out, whatnot. Don't pay too much attention to it. But, I'm sure she got her like that sense of like, nah, something's wrong. So she made me like call all of his friends. So I called all of them. They were all like, nah, bro, I'm already home. I'm just chilling. I don't know where he's at. And I was like, I keep calling his phone and nothing happens. So eventually, my sister got married to a police officer. So he went in there, he went into his computer, and he was able to see what happened in there.
And that, yeah.
So he told me, he's like, Andy, apparently there's a Mustang, a Mach 1 that was involved in an accident. And I was like, does it tell you what color? He's like, yeah, it's a silver one. I was like, gosh, bro, that's my homie's car. So I went back to the scene where it happened, and I wanted to talk to the cops, and they couldn't tell me what happened. And I just told them, I was like, hey, my cuñado, he's a police officer. He told me that one of the cars that was involved is a Mach 1 Mustang, and that's my buddy's. Like, I know for a fact that's my buddy's, because we were at the wedding up there. And he was like, okay. He's like, well, let me call the chief, because he's like, I can't tell you anything. And I was all right. So dude, they made me wait like 30 minutes, and I was just there chilling, like, well, because I knew something happened to my best friend. I didn't know that my brother was in there though. So when the guy came, the chief came, and he told me, he's like, do you know the name of the owner of the vehicle? And I was like, yeah. He's like, can you tell me the name and the last name? I was like, yeah. So I told him, and then he was like, okay. And then he's like, oh, by the way, there was another person in there. Do you know who it is? And I was like, I don't. He was like, if I give you the name, do you think you'll recognize it? And I was like, yeah, because obviously they went through their IDs. And when I heard my brother's name, I was like, damn, like, what happened? Are they okay? And he just didn't say anything. He was just standing in front of me. So I was just staring at him like, are they okay? And then that's when he told me, like, nah, dude. He's like, unfortunately, like, they didn't make it. And I was like, fuck. Like, that's probably like dude, I remember I just went crazy, bro, for like a couple of seconds where I was like, wait, what? Like, I even told him, I'm like, bro, tell me you're kidding, bro.
Yeah.
And I was looking at him straight in the face, like, bro, tell me you're kidding. He's like, nah, dude, like.
I think the hard part is that you were going from like happiness and joy with your sister, and then out of nowhere you get
360.
presented with this, you know?
I called my parents. I didn't tell them what happened. I just told them to come to the scene.
You didn't want to tell him through the phone?
Nah, no, there's no way. So I just told them to come to the scene, and they were like, you know what happened? I was like, just come to where they closed down the street. So yeah, cuando llegaron, you know, they came, and oh fuck, dude, it was like the worst feeling ever to like tell your parents that their son passed away. You know, like how do you tell that?
Was
to
that
a
your
parent?
bigger brother? Or
I'm the oldest. He was the
so he
middle
was
one.
your
Younger brother, bro. Yeah, yeah. So
how was I know it must have been hard, but how were like the next 6 months? How did you deal? What happened?
I didn't cut honestly for like 3 months. I just couldn't. Like I didn't have the energy, bro. Like when I mean he was my brother, bro, and my best friend. Like I really mean it. Like me and my brother, he was, like I said, he was only 1 year from becoming a lawyer. He went to law school. He was going to law school in Houston, but we would stay in touch like this. Like he was like the numbers guy. He was everything for like our streetwear brand. Like he was the one doing all the crunching the numbers and all that. Like he was really good at that. And my friend George, he was the one that would do all the silk screen,
Printing.
folding, printing, all that good stuff. I was like the marketing / also like the designing. Like I'd be like, hey bro, like this design's cool. Like, and yeah, so we were a team, bro. It was a team of 3. So after they passed away, I couldn't go back to the shop. I couldn't cut, bro. I didn't have the energy to cut. So I just stayed home. I couldn't go back to doing my clothing brand because it was my George passed away, and it was at his house where we would do all the printing.
Oh, okay.
So it was just like, I went on depression for like, I'm not gonna lie, bro. Like it's been like 3.5, almost 4 years, and like I even gained weight, bro. I gained like 30 pounds. I'm still like slowly coming out of it, but not that much. But I feel like now that I'm doing like, I feel like the barbershops is keeping me super, super busy. I feel like that's my gateway. I've like,
That's your gateway,
I'm staying busy. Like,
yeah, correct. Hey, have you guys? I always wanted to know this. Like, do you feel like they still talk to you guys? Like your dad? Like, have you had an encounter after that, after their pass away, where you're just like, oh, this was my dad talking to me, or like, oh, this was my brother talking to me, in any shape, way, or form?
dude,
Does that
100%.
happen?
100%.
What was like
all
the
time.
most one that you remember?
Well, not the most that I remember, but I just feel like sometimes there's things that happen that I'm like, I know that was my brother because there's no way that just happened. And it could be like in my personal life, or it could be even in business wise. Like I feel like he's still like out here, like helping me like do what we like, just the vision itself, you know, like he's still here. But yeah, there's plenty of ways. To be honest, like, the person that like feels more of that is my little sister, because they were a little bit closer when it came to personal life. I feel like me and my brother, we were so like hooked on like business that like our personal life, like it was more like, okay, well, he would go spend more time with my little sister. So they were more connected when it came to the personal life. And then me and my brother were way more connected when it came to business. So my little sister like has a bunch of dreams of him all the time. And he tells her dreams or things through her dreams all the time, bro. Like, I feel like that's the way, like when he wants me to know something, like he'll tell her through the dream, and then my sister tells me.
Dang, that's trippy.
Yeah.
What about you, kid? Have you had anything like that?
I actually encountered a lot of my dad whenever I'm fixing something, or whenever it's something that it was like, I remember when I was a kid and he was teaching me how to do this. Now that I'm a dad and I'm doing it, it always clicks. Whether it's fixing a light fixture at the house, putting up the air conditioner through the window, or whatever it is that I need to do, whether it has to do like fixing the car, changing the brakes, anything like that, it always clicks to like, this is why my dad taught me how to do this, so I wouldn't have to pay anyone else to do it. And now I'm here practicing what he taught me.
Yeah,
Like
I'm
a
sorry.
lot of that.
I'm sorry, Kayla, that your dad passed away, man. Like that's
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear about your story as well, bro. It's kind of
How
just flashes back. Like,
how many years has it been since your dad
my
passed away?
my dad passed away in 21.
Oh, so the same year.
2021.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the same year that my brother
Has it
passed
been
away.
3? Damn. Because when I met you, the barbershop was a year anniversary, no? Or the 2 year?
When you met me,
No, when you
yeah, it
opened up
was
the shop?
when I opened up the barbershop, it was my dad's it was his first year. So my dad so it was 22, then it went on to 23 where it was when we did the anniversary when I told you.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
he was been sick since 21, passed away in
Okay.
2022.
So yours
Yeah.
is even 1 year, even more recent than mine.
Yeah. Yeah, that's when that happened. So, and it happened. We found out so my dad passed away from colorectal cancer. So we were fighting that
Okay.
for, we found out a day before Thanksgiving. Um, and when we found that out, we were battling we were battling for the whole year. Then my dad passed away October 2nd
So
of
I
that
have
year.
a question for you because yours was different than mine. Yours was like, I'm not gonna say that you saw it coming, but it was a little bit more expected. You know, like when somebody's sick and has cancer.
Yeah. So it was kind of more of like,
So
you nurtured it more like, how can I tell you? Like,
Well-
it was getting bad news after bad news after bad news until it was like the only thing you could think of is like the worst could happen.
that's
now.
what I was gonna say.
But,
you know.
Were you like mentally
Mm.
getting prepared for that, or
Like, did you accept it completely?
I couldn't. I really wasn't accepting too much of it. I was just like trying to find someone to blame more, like, and figure
Okay.
that part out first.
Okay.
I was like, wait, what? Like, because my dad was good, bro. Like,
yeah?
he was going through therapy. Everything was good. Like, was he in pain? Yes, he was in pain and all that stuff, right? And one time he had gone into, I mean, having conversations with different doctors and stuff like that, and they never were like, this is a life-threatening situation where your dad could pass away.
Okay.
You know, like, we all hate the C word and all that stuff, and I understand that part, but it was more like, okay, well, we're going through this so my dad could get better. It was never for like, oh, if this goes wrong, your dad's gonna pass away. You know,
Yeah.
it was more like, the doctors were telling us that his survival rate was really high. Like, our never in our mind was it like, oh, my dad's gonna pass away from this. It was
Okay.
more like, your dad has to treat through all this, and everything's gonna be better as long as he goes through all this treatment and all the surgeries go good. He went through the surgeries, and everything had gone good, and so it was like impactful that when he went into his last surgery, he just came out of it really, really sick. You know, like,
So
he
you-
came out of the surgery sick, and then he couldn't breathe on his own no more. And then I think for the next few weeks, he was just intubated, and we would just go visit him, and he couldn't talk to us. He couldn't see us. He could hear us, is what the nurses would say, but he couldn't talk to us. Like, we would talk to him and stuff, and like sometimes we would see tears coming down his eyes and like stuff like that. That we would see and we would encounter as a family being up there. And it was during, like, right after COVID, so it was difficult to have. You know, normally you'll have like 3-4 people up there visiting and being there together. During that time, there was a point where it was to be just one person that was able to go up, and then they allowed us to have 2 people go up. But it was like an ongoing thing, and you had to have your vaccines, a proof of your vaccines, or you had to have got a test that exact same day in order for you to be able to go up there. So it was just a lot of challenges to, and plus coping with everything that was going on.
yeah.
You know, but we were in very high hopes. I have so much faith that, everything was gonna be good,
Yeah.
and then, my faith was tested when everything just went south. And then from there, I went into like this dark space of just trying to figure out why all of this happened when my faith was so high.
Exactly.
And having my faith so high and being crushed like that was like, not until now, it's like why I understand why these things happen. Going through multiple different things and gaining what I have now through whatever my dad taught me as I was growing up and stuff. It allows me to see that my dad, like you say, that when you make some business moves and stuff like that, how you feel like your brother is part of all of that. I felt the same way too. Like, my dad's now helping me beyond measures. Like, he doesn't physically, what he couldn't accomplish to help me while he was here physically, now he's helping me beyond measures where there's no limit to what he cannot help me what to do. Where physically when he was here, there would probably be things like, hey, Dad, I want to open up a barbershop. I need 20,000. Oh, I don't have 20,000 to give you. Now it's like, hey, let me move all these mountains for you so you could get those 20,000.
That's exactly what I was talking
and
about.
it's just
Like,
crazy.
that's exactly what I was
Which is
talking
crazy
about.
because before it's like, you don't see those things, and it sounds crazy when someone tells you these things, but when they're happening to you, they're so understanding. Like, like what it is,
That's why when he asked me, I was like, like it's hard to explain that, but I just know when it happens. Like when it happens, like right away, the first thing that comes up in my mind is like, that was my brother. My brother did that, and you just feel it. Like,
I was asking you guys too that because right now, yesterday I was at my suegro's house, and it's trippy because my wife's grandpa basically. I was kicking it with him, and then he was trying to stand up, and he couldn't stand up, and then I saw like his legs shake, right, and I was like, "Oh, qué le pasó a su pierna?" And then he goes like, "Boom," and he had a fake
prosthetic leg.
Yeah, and I'm just like, "What?" Like I start tripping, bro, and he's like, but he's kind of old already. He's like, "Sí, hijo, yo ya estoy listo. Like, yo ya me quiero ir. Like, Dios ya me está esperando." And then in that moment, I was like, I never had no one pass away that's close to me, bro. But when we were on the car ride back home, I told my wife like, yeah, I don't want to scare you and stuff, but I think the first person we're gonna see pass away is your grandpa, cause he's old, he's diabetic, he's already 75. But I was thinking like, damn, this is gonna be the first person I see, like, cause we were in the dinner table just chilling. He was just, he was carrying the baby, bro. And I took a picture of him. I took my phone out, like I'm gonna take a picture of him, because I might not take a picture of him later,
and that's smart.
It was just trippy, bro. It hit me in that moment, and I was just like, I wonder what it feels like to like have this person here, and then one day just he's not here no more.
Yeah, but what you just did about taking the picture, bro. Like I know nowadays, like we obviously take a lot of pictures for like Instagram, or social media, But when somebody passes away, bro, like me, now that my brother passed away, I go back to all those pictures that I took like randomly, not for social media, but just like
For yourself.
for myself, that they have a story, like compared to like a picture where we just post to look cool, like that's cool, obviously, but the pictures, like random pictures like the one that you just took, like for example, whenever you see that picture, you're gonna remember like, damn, I took that picture because of what he had just said.
Correct.
So I don't know, I just feel like taking random pictures of your family,
It's just
or
like
friends, it's good, it's cool.
Yeah, I just like I'm telling you, I can't process that in my head. I try to get ready for it, like obviously with my parents and my brothers, and it's like life can't be perfect, bro. I have 8 brothers, and I have like a big family. Like it's not that I'm expecting something bad, but I know like I have to get ready within the next 20 years to see someone close to me pass away, And hopefully it's good. Hopefully it's, but it's something that I always think about, bro. I'm always like conscious about it.
And it's good. I try not to. I mean, because my brother, well, he passed away. It was kind of like, whoa, like like I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't getting like mentally prepared or nothing like that. So it was just a hit. Well, my best friend too. It was just kind of like a hit of like, whoa, like two of the people that I would spend all of my time with are gone, like completely. So it was a little bit different.
So you know what's crazy is that my dad, when we found out, like, my dad used to always think to the future, bro, a lot. You know, it's like, oh, tienes que pensar en el futuro porque uno nunca sabe que esto y que lo otro. Like, that's how my dad used to be,
Yeah.
right? So finding out when he had cancer and stuff, he started like, like writing his will and like adjusting different things and doing all these things with this insurance and all this stuff, right? And we're just like, yo, like, why are you doing this? Like you're putting this negative,
Energy out.
energy out, that you're doing this because something bad could happen, then something bad could happen. Like we would just be upset at that. But that my dad was always like the wise man, like, hey, like, you gotta face reality. And one time when we were talking while he was really sick, he was telling me, like, you gotta grab the bull by the horns, son. He said, you gotta grab the bull by the horns, because if you don't, then you're gonna be hit in the face. And when you get hit in the face, it's not gonna be nice. And you're not gonna be ready. So you gotta mentally prepare yourself that the worst could happen, but you gotta work towards the best thing to happen. And that stuck with me forever. That tomorrow's never promised. So I gotta act on it today
Exactly.
for a better tomorrow. But you can't depend on that tomorrow to come. So that's why you gotta deal with what you got going on right now.
That's one thing that I always tell people. I'm like, man, like if somebody older than you gives you advice of life, bro, it's because they already went through it. Like they've seen a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure us, like, even I'm in my mid 30s. Like I feel like every like 5-10 years, like I think differently.
You think different.
I see life differently. Like
Yeah, definitely.
and it's hard to explain. Like I can't tell people. Like for example, my son, he's 15 years old, and I tell him like, hey, bro, like you're gonna see that you're the way you think, the way you see people. Even like for example, right now he's 15, bro. Like his quality time is just kind of like he's just in his car, sorry, in his room and just texting and doing his own thing.
Yeah.
And I did the same thing when I was that age. But then when I turned like 21, 22, I started appreciating my family a little bit more. So now I would want to spend time with my mom, my dad. Like I would actually go up to them. I would actually, when I would spend time with them, I wouldn't just like be there because I was like, oh, I need to be here with
Yeah.
the family. No, it was more like, oh, dude, like I
I
want to
wanna
be here.
be
Like I
here.
want to spend time with you guys. Like this feels good. And I just feel like the older we get, like the wiser we get. And I'm sure your dad
Right.
like gave you that advice because he probably went through it. So he was like, dude, let me tell my son so he knows what's up when it does happen.
Yeah. Hey, so how can you teach a 15-year-old to start thinking like this? I know you were going to high schools and you were talking to these young individuals. When you were going there, what was your message like for these youth?
Yeah. So for the job fair, it was obviously barbers that wanted to, they had questions about how to even start, how to go to barber school. When I went to the entrepreneur one, my message was just, to be honest, to like find something that they love to do. That way they don't feel like they're actually working. Cause like, honestly, like what we do for a living,
It
like,
doesn't feel like work too much.
bro, I love driving to work, bro. Like I love driving to the shop. But it's
Yeah.
like, especially when I look down on my list and there's a bunch of clients and barbers, clients that I see that they're like family.
Yeah,
And like,
today's gonna be a funny
yeah,
day.
exactly.
Today's gonna be a dope day.
Exactly. You're like, oh hell yeah, like today's.
I'll
gonna
be like,
cool.
who I got first right now? Oh, the homie Chris. Oh, he don't trip if I'm 5 minutes late. I'm gonna get my coffee. I'm gonna get my water. Like,
Yeah, so that's what I told the kids at the high schools. I was like, just whatever you do, make sure it's something that you love, because
Correct.
life is gonna pass by really fast, and little did you know, like we're here today, we're gone tomorrow. So it's
Yeah.
like if you find yourself, like, let's say you become a plumber and you find yourself going to work every day, and you're like, damn, like I don't want to do it. Like you're not doing that. Maybe you want to do something else.
Yeah, correct. I was just telling you, have you seen those memes that it'd be like, man, I should have bought a house in 3rd grade instead of fucking around. Like my thing is like, man, I wish somebody would have came in my life at 15 and 16 and told me like, hey, bro, you better work hard. Life is not easy. Save some money. Like I wish somebody would have. But I was asking you, how do you
Yes.
teach that to a 15-year-old
So
kid?
just 2 days ago, I was actually having that conversation with my son, where I was telling him, I was like, bro, I don't know if like when I talk to you, like it just goes in one ear and goes out the other. But I was like, I wish that my parents were like the way that I am with you.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, luckily, well, I mean, I don't know. My parents migrated from Mexico to over here, so they're first. I'm first generation. My parents didn't know much, you know, like
Correct.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just grateful that they even came over here and gave me the opportunity to be somewhat successful over here, you know, or have what I have.
Correct.
Because, I mean, would you be down to go to England and move over there and you don't even know
Hell no.
fucking how to speak, you know, it just like for them to be able to do that takes a lot of balls, bro. Like,
Correct.
like, so I'm just grateful that they did that for obviously for their kids, for our future. So I told my son, I was like, bro, when I was like 16, 17, I started working. I was like, I wish that my parents would have told me like, hey, dude, I'm going to take away 30, 40% of your paycheck and I'm going to put it aside and you'll thank me later. And I told him, I was like, maybe I would have been a little pissed and maybe I would have been like, what the fuck? Like, it's my money. I'm working for it. But I know that at the end of the day, I would have been more grateful because I would have been older by then. I would have been, oh shit. So I told my son, I'm like, that's what we're going to do with you, bro. Like, trust me, like, you might get mad at me, but you'll thank me later. Like, finances is not something that they teach us in school.
They don't.
They don't even teach us how to like run credit, how to like work our credit. They don't teach us none of like the real personal. Bro, there's classes of like what art, which hey, we're barbers, so that kind of helped a little bit. But there's like wood classes. Like I'm not. How many people from high school actually leave in our carpenters?
Yeah,
bro?
correct.
So there's little things that we got to teach our kids, and you know, and just slowly telling them that way. Like if the more you tell them, the more they'll be like, all right, like I guess my dad's right. Like because I told my son, I'm like, in reality, bro, like you should be able to buy a house by the time you're 24.
Yeah.
In reality, like if you do the right things, kind of like the way you're doing it to open up your first shop is like the same way it's to buy a house. It's like if you stay like consistent with like saving 40% or some, especially my son, I was like, bro, I don't charge you rent here at the house. I don't charge you anything. Like you don't have any bills.
You say he's cutting hair, right?
He's cutting hair, yeah, and he's only charging like $10 a haircut.
Still at that age, bro, you're making $100 a day, 1,000. Bro, we were making money when we were young.
Yeah, so. I mean, and then it's up to the kid if they're gonna grasp that or not, you know. So
yeah, but you don't think there's a way? Cause I think I was having a conversation with someone that, like, when my kid, it kind of sucks, but I'm gonna lie to him about a lot of stuff.
Okay,
like I'm gonna lie to him, but like, hey, soda's gonna get you fat, you know, like, but like he's not gonna see me drink soda, or I'm gonna tell him like, hey, bro, that those shoes are whack. like they might be Jordans, like, bro, those Jordan things, they're whack.
Okay.
But because I believe that by painting him that picture, he's gonna understand what life is really about.
Okay.
You know? Like, for example, I already told my wife, like, if my kid ever goes to school and he bullies someone and he tells someone like, hey, I got better shoes than you, the next day, bro, I swear to God, I'll send this fool with some Skechers for some old ass shoes, and for the rest of the semester, like I'll be like that with my kid, bro.
Okay, how old is your son?
He's barely 3 months.
He's barely 3 months.
Oh
bro.
man, hey,
He's barely 3 months.
But like,
I'm already thinking.
like I know
I'm
you're
already
thinking like that.
ahead,
Oh, crazy! It's crazy because I like that you think like that because that just tells me that you want the best for your kid, and you don't want your kid,
But I know it's not
you
gonna
don't
happen.
want your kid to fail, right? But just give it a few years till he gets older and stuff like that. And I know like some of us, because I don't think the same way like I did when my kid was younger. You know, you evolve as a parent and you keep evolving and evolving by the day almost, bro. By the day. Like you try to tell them to do something and they won't listen. And then the next time you switch it up and then they're listening. And you just switched a few words up or whatever, right? But it's crazy that later on when we see this podcast, that, hey, I thought his son's gonna be standing right there with Jordans and a Gucci bag, and he's gonna be, hey, Diego, what happened, bro?
What happened to you?
Damn.
You know, like, but it's crazy. It's crazy because just you're in for a big surprise that your mentality is gonna change as you get older and
it's
you start
basically
moving,
like
you
trying
know?
to. It's like right now, you guys telling me about how to be a dad. It's like it's hard for me to understand it because I haven't experienced it.
Yeah.
Same thing like teaching a 15-year-old about money. He's just like, he has his own reality going on.
Exactly.
He thinks it's gonna be all flowers. Same thing like with me with this parent journey. I think it's all gonna be like smooth. But when it really comes, you're just like, oh damn.
But it'll come in naturally, man. I mean, Kayo knows. How old is your?
My oldest is 8, and then my youngest is 6.
It's because we just become parents. We don't. there's no instructions of becoming a parent. You know, there's no like, oh, this is the right way of raising your child, or this is the right way of doing it. Like, there's not really that way. You kind of just go with the flow, man. To be honest, it might sound corny, but it's true. You kind of just go with how they're being raised. Obviously, if what if you have a really good, cool child that you didn't even have to do all that? You know, like,
Correct.
what
Yeah.
if he just tells you, like, bro, like, I already know. Like, for example, my son, he's pretty smart, man. Like, he already does his own research. He's an athlete, so he kind of, when it comes to like dieting, he already knows what's good and bad. When it comes to exercising, he already knows what's good and bad. Like,
Correct.
nowadays, Instagram has a lot of influence on kids,
Yeah.
and like,
Yeah.
And YouTube.
exactly. So now there's like, sometimes you can't even lie to them because they already know the answer.
They
Bro.
already know.
Yeah, it's
Damn.
crazy.
Yeah.
My son, well, he's
Yeah.
he's an 8-year-old, right? So there's times where there's trades in football teams, bro, and I play fantasy, right? Or soccer teams, or and baseball, right? Like, for example, perfect example right now, the Juan Soto thing that's happening, right? Like, everybody wants to sign him. Who's gonna give him the more money? It was a big thing for baseball,
Oh, okay.
right? He played for the Yankees, and at this point, it had caught our attention because even the Dodgers wanted to sign him for 700 mil or something like that, you know, for 10 years. The other day, my son said, "Hey, Dad, you already saw who Juan Soto signed with?" And I was like, "What?" I was like, "Yeah, you know he's going to the Mets, right? He's going over there for 15 years." And I'm like, "What?" I get my phone out, bro. Facts.
Damn.
He signed with the Mets. Like, my son already knew this just off watching like a 10, 15-minute session on YouTube. So it's crazy how you learn from your own kids too, bro, as
be
you're
careful
growing.
when you lie, bro, because then your son's gonna be like, this guy's a liar.
Hey, a liar. I'm that liar.
It's
Yeah,
just
when
crazy.
my son asks me something that I don't know, I'm like, I tell him straight up, you know what, bro?
Okay, I don't
don't
know.
know that, but let's do some research, and then, well, I'll give you the.
I'm
I'll
gonna
give you
have to
facts.
switch. I'm gonna have to switch
Yeah.
on my strategy, bro.
Because then you don't want your son to be lying out there,
Yeah,
bro.
true. Yeah.
And they're your, like, I feel like when you get older and become a dad, like, they're your biggest teachers, bro. They teach you what you can't really learn off of searching anything up. Like, you'll learn things about yourself as well.
Yeah. I think it's almost like when you get married. Like, something that I learned was like, your wife is your mirror. Like, that's your mirror, bro. So same thing with your kids. Like, they're gonna show you sides. They're gonna show you a reflection of yourself that you never thought was there.
Yeah.
Like, for example, like, if I lie to my kid, he's gonna be like, "What? That you're a liar." And I'm over here like, no, like, I probably didn't see it that way, you know. So
Yeah.
it's just like a mirror showing you who you really are.
He's gonna go home tonight and be like, damn,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
start-
reconsider.
Yeah, I'm gonna rethink this whole kid, raising up my kid, bro.
No,
Hey,
I mean, if
Yeah, but it's
like,
all done with good intention. I feel like
yeah,
the backing to that is because you want him to learn. For example, like, you want him to learn in ways that you were probably never taught, that you would want that to
like for
happen.
right now, like Christmas, like at what age did you guys tell your sons like, "Hey, Santa Claus is not real"? But I'm pretty sure you guys let them believe for a while, right?
Yeah, I mean, to this
first couple years.
day, like, my kids don't think that Santa's fake. They just know that Santa doesn't come through the chimney anymore. You know, which in the first years, like, oh, Santa comes like through the chimney.
Okay.
You know,
okay.
like, but now it's like, I know Santa doesn't come through the chimney or whatever. You know, like, there's just gifts there that come from Santa, you know, and they will never know who bought those gifts for them. Opposed to before, it was like, yeah, look, we put the cookies out and we do this and we do it. And later on through the years, it's just like, we didn't even put no cookies out. He still left me some gifts. So the whole cookie thing, so it goes out the window
think
and all
it-
this shit.
it also depends on like if you're the firstborn or a secondborn or a thirdborn,
Yeah.
because obviously the firstborn's gonna be like, oh damn, whatever my dad tells me, you know, that's.
Yeah, true.
But then like once you realize that it's not real, then you're gonna tell your little
You
one,
tell the
your
little
little
brother.
brother, like, hey bro, by the
Don't
way,
worry,
like, there's Santa Claus is not real, bro.
Damn.
So it's kind of
Yeah.
like depends, you know, it's
Correct.
different in every household.
yeah, I was thinking of telling my kid like, "Hey, this fool ain't real," right away. Nah.
Yeah, because when my kids said that, and I was like, "What do you mean Santa Claus is not real? Santa Claus is real. Like, Santa Claus is real. You know, like, you ever seen one? You saw one, right? Like, that's Santa Claus. That all the things they tell you that Santa Claus does, that's probably not real. But there is Santa Claus. You know,
Yeah,
like,
I
there's
get you, I get you.
multiple of different Santa Claus.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, so it's crazy. I mean, it's up to you to keep the tradition going and you know, make those type of memories for them, because
True.
at a certain extent they do impact the childhood of your kid's childhood, pretty much.
Yeah.
You know, it impact them in a certain way.
And it fades away fast. Like
Yeah.
now that my son's 15, it's like things are different, you know. Like now
Yeah.
we can't. Like there's little things that I can't take him to Disneyland, bro. He's
Yeah,
15. Like
correct.
he wants to do
But-
something funner, you know. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and but I was telling one of my clients like I think kids come to put meaning to everything that was becoming meaningless. So, for example, me, right? I'm already old. Thanksgiving, Christmas, like I'm not waiting for gifts. You know, I'll probably wait for a couple. But the last 2 years, I was already like, it's Christmas, I gotta waste money, and it's Thanksgiving, I gotta go. But now that I have a kid, it's like
different.
everything is meaningful now.
Yeah.
Now
Oh, yeah.
it's not just like a pumpkin patch. Now it's like a pumpkin patch because you gotta go take a picture with your kid.
Exactly.
Now it's not just Thanksgiving dinner. It's like, oh, now we gotta dress up and match with the kid, and then you match, and then we're all like now it comes in as
because you're
meaning to
making
it.
memories for your
Yeah.
own family
Correct.
now because
Exactly.
there's gonna be a picture there now and like it's a story to tell to your kid as soon as he
Correct.
gets older or whatnot,
Correct,
right?
correct. But I was telling my wife the day your firstborn is born, that's the birthday of your family.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
birthday. Of
It's
your
your
family.
it's the
true.
first day of your new life.
Of your new life
Yeah.
as a dad.
There you go.
It's crazy,
As
bro.
a father.
Yeah, and then you stop putting yourself first, and now you put your family
family,
first,
bro.
and
Yep.
that changes everything.
That's true.
It definitely changes everything. And
Hey,
you know
it
what's
gets
crazy is
deep,
that
it
when
gets
when
deep.
it's your firstborn's birthday, it's like a celebration to a lot of things. It's your dad anniversary. Is your wife's mom anniversary.
Yep.
It's just a whole bunch of. But we all only intake it as like, oh, it's his birthday.
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
You know, like it's crazy.
I was
Yeah,
saying
it's
that
true,
because
that's true.
I went to a first birthday party this Sunday.
Sorry,
Go ahead,
but now KO is gonna make a new celebration now. But now you're gonna see people being like, "Oh, it's my mom's anniversary."
my mom anniversary.
It's dad
No,
anniversary.
because it's true. Like I went to a birthday party and I told my girl it was a kid's first birthday. The kid was sleeping, and I told my girl like, "Screw the kid. Like celebrate the parents, bro. Like the kid
Yeah.
doesn't even remember." Because I feel like you should celebrate the parents because it's the anniversary of the first year of being a family.
Exactly,
And that's a lot.
and
of
it's
work,
tough,
you know,
especially
that's
the
a lot of
first.
work.
I mean, you're going through it right now, bro.
Mhm.
Like it's tough. The first
Yeah,
years,
yeah.
it's
But it's
First
worth
years.
it, bro. It's worth it.
Yeah.
Before we wrap it up, Andy, we had a great time with you. We just wanna get a little bit more of you. What are your goals for 2025? And what is the resolution that you might want to share with the audience that you want to tackle next year, bro?
Well, for sure, since I just opened up the shop and it's at the end of the year, at the beginning of the year, I want to make sure that, you know, I market that shop. I make
Okay.
sure that the city knows that there's a new shop in town. So that's like the first thing that I'm going to tackle in the first the first quarter of the year.
Okay.
Maybe like towards in the middle of the year for sure. I want to start looking into opening up the third location.
Oh, damn. So you
So-
do got the third one in mind already.
Bro, I'm not kidding when I was telling you that I'm just
Damn.
moving the profits around, man. I do have a client like that wants to invest, kind of like yours, KO, and now that I heard it from somebody that's doing it live and you guys are making it happen, maybe I'll reach out to him. And I do cut him every week, so I see him every week, and he's good for it. He has his own business as well. He has nothing to do with the barbering, but he sees that it's like it's a good investment because it's easy. I'm not gonna say that it's super easy to run a barbershop, but it almost runs by itself.
Once it runs
You know?
by itself,
And that's
bro.
what he likes about it. That he's
So-
like, all right, I need give me a quote. We'll go half and half. You make it happen. You get a little bit more of the profit because you're the one that's obviously like running the show. And I'll just get, you know, it's just like a monthly income that he's gonna passive income that he's gonna be
Passive
getting.
income, correct.
So I think I'm gonna reach out. So maybe
That's
next
dope.
year
Yeah.
that's another thing that I'm gonna
Yeah, dope.
look into. Because
What about like a personal resolution that you have for next year?
personal resolution, probably get back into fitness, man.
Okay, back to, yeah.
Yeah, now that I feel like a little bit, I feel like, you know, now that I got the two shops going, I feel like I'm gonna have a little bit more time. I'll probably start working more on my
Your
on
physical
myself,
health.
my physical, eating a little bit better, you know. It's very important, you know, like
Correct.
we can't without being healthy, man, like we're only gonna be here for so long. So it's like if we can take care of ourselves, we should last a little bit longer, even if it's a couple of extra months, you know.
And then
like-
you could perform better.
Exactly.
You perform better.
Oh yeah,
You
that's
feel
that's a
better.
big one. That's a big one because I feel like because I do go to the gym, but I only go like once or twice, and I feel good.
Yeah.
But then like so many things come up that I'm like, I can't go today, or I'm not even going to go tomorrow, you know. And and maybe I'm just adding excuses, you know. Maybe I could do it, but I'm just not making it happen. I'm not executing, you know. So for sure next year, and I know everybody says, "Oh, next year I'm gonna do this. Next year I'm gonna do that." But personally, I feel like next year for sure.
Hey,
I'm
we have
gonna-
the podcast, so you're gonna have it's on
Yeah.
record, bro. It's on record. Okay, yeah, what up?
if I come back and I'm still the same way,
Okay, what about you, bro? What's one of your...
I have a few actually. So like, one of the main goals that I have for the barbershop is just to boost local awareness of the barbershop being there at that shopping center. Launch like maybe some type of social media campaign or collaborate with other local businesses to attract new clients for the new barbers that are starting to work with us, and for some of the barbers that work with us that need more clientele. Another thing too would be someone in the year hosted like a community event to organize and appreciate the clients that have kept our chairs spinning and just give back.
That's really dope.
And as far as like from the business side, like improve efficiency. I feel like staying efficient, and streamlining, like especially like with scheduling and checking out process by implementing or upgrading, different things around the barbershop, and just staying consistent with just being more on time with different things and staying on schedule. I
There you
think,
go.
like having businesses and having your personal life and trying to be the best dad that you can be, and all these things take into effect where it kind of drags you different directions when you think that you want to run that straight line, and it's just keep going out of pocket to just try to make everything happen at once, just to try to be more efficient and more on time with that. But as far as like personal goals or anything like that, I'm definitely, like you said, I'm gonna try to prioritize self-care, bro. I'm gonna try to prioritize that a lot, because I say it a lot that I want to get more into the gym and eat healthier and do all this stuff, but I touch nothing of that, and I want to be more efficient on that. So I'm gonna try to prioritize that self-care. And another thing would be just enhance and polish up my leadership skills.
There you go.
It's something that I would definitely want to do. I feel like I've been doing not the same thing over and over, but repetitively, month through month. And I just want to polish that, or surround myself with other leaders, and just, pick their brain a little bit, or be able to use and take from their advice to be able to polish up my tools to become a better leader.
That's a good one.
Dope.
How about yourself, Diego?
One of my biggest ones is just like keeping my word now. I want to, like, if I tell you I'm going to do something for you, I want to keep that word. Also, if I tell you that I'm not going to do anything for you, just not do it.
They probably don't want to hear that, but
yeah, just be like, hey, I can't make it, bro. I'm sorry you invited me, but I just can't make it.
Mhm.
But I'm going to send you a gift, and keep that word, I think it's just really important to where you become more efficient. You put more attention behind everything that you're gonna do. For the podcast, I wanna some of the goals I have is just I want to land some great guests. Now, I'm not you're a great guest. Everyone here is a great. I think there's like well-known, like viral people that sometimes we think they're too far from our reach. But sometimes if you really put your mind to it, you can make it happen. So I do want to get like some guests. Like we've been saying that we want to get some guy named Johnny Chang and
Okay.
George Yanko, and it's like big names. But
bro, just
next year we could do it.
send emails, man. Send some of those big guys already have like their own management that you have to reach out to. But
Correct.
hey, man, if you don't reach out, you never know.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
it's you should already be doing.
Yeah.
It,
Yeah. And next year, hopefully, I told my wife, hopefully, I do want to open up the barbershop in September.
Okay.
If not, I know by the end of next year, I will be ready to just go inside. Like, put me in, coach. I'm ready. Like, so have
good.
everything ready, have all the budget, all the finances right. Keep getting mentored by people.
Another thing that I've learned is, like, for example, right now that I opened up this second location, during the time that I opened it, everything was on sale because of Black Friday. So I saved a lot of money, bro, just by buying
that's super
stuff.
smart.
Yeah, well, it happened just because it happened. I didn't even plan it. But now for the third one, I'm like, dude, I think I'm gonna start buying the stuff, just putting it in my garage. So when I do open it, I already have the stuff and I bought it for cheap or cheaper,
Cheaper, yeah.
Yeah.
Correct.
So that just I had to.
Great advice. Yeah.
yeah.
Thank you, Andy. Andy, can you share your social media pages to the camera where people could find you?
Yeah,
And any of your last messages, last words that you would like to give to the audience?
Yeah, you can follow us on Instagram. It's by association only. That's the name of the Instagram, and yeah, that's a shop.
Okay, thank you, Andy, for being here today with us. Thank you for taking your time today for being with us.
Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, bro, it was an honor. It was a pleasure. This was episode 4 of the DTB podcast, season 2, KO.
Let's go, man. Andy, thank you, man, for everything that you shared with us today. There's a lot of gems for some of these young entrepreneurs out here that are just really trying to make it. They're trying to they're trying to bridge that gap in, moving on from either getting out that barbershop that they've been working on for the past couple of years and taking the next step of being a barbershop owner. We also want to open up our doors to whatever it is that you may need from us, bro, to get you to those goals that you're trying to reach. We always, leave here as friendship and family, man. So whatever you need from us, don't hesitate to reach out. I can send you all the links and stuff like that for where I order my lights. So if you need, help with that, and just to give you an example, man, just reach out. It was a pleasure meeting you here, and your story is great. So keep doing what you're doing, man, and impacting communities and family, and most of all, the youth out there in the Bay. Let's go, DTB. Here we are.
Let's
Show
go.
your emotions. Most of the time, it's really not worth it. Don't be ashamed and beat yourself up for not being perfect. Don't be entitled. The world doesn't care if you think you deserve it. Don't fall in love with someone until you